Okay, folks, welcome back to the broadcast. We just had a few technical issues earlier on, so it looks like we're up and running now, thank goodness. So you're joining the broadcast of RRTV. Tonight we're coming to you from Okayama in Japan for the Okayama 2 hour. At the moment the guys are in the last 10 minutes of qualifying, and I'd like to welcome to the commentary booth with me Scott Stevens. How are you going tonight, Scott?
G'day Bernie, going well mate, good to be up in the box and looking forward to the race ahead.
Yeah, it should be quite an interesting race, and at Okayama tonight we've got 2 hours around this track, but I think the tight twisty corners of this track's going to test these guys just like any longer enduro, so it should be quite interesting to see how the guys survive tonight.
Yeah, that's right. And looking over, the practice times from earlier today, we're looking at, gee whiz, a second is covering from first down to 20th position. So, that's, and we're looking at, a 28, a mid 28 to, say around a mid 30, covering all 31 drivers in the practice session. So that kind of, those kind of times around this type of track is, it's going to keep the racing very tight, which is going to be good for the viewers.
Yeah, that's for sure. And at the moment, it looks like Dylan Sharman and Matthew Hills got provisional pole with a 1:28.001, according to my overlays.
Yeah, they're sitting on a 28 flat, and I believe it would be the Christopher Osborne. Yeah, so Christopher Osborne is currently sitting second in qualifying at the moment with a 28.1. So it's so close. It's marginal. It's that extra little. I'm going to brake a little bit later, and you can be putting yourself on pole position, but. It's good to see at the moment. Very close racing.
Yeah, that's right. But even braking a little bit later could put them into the kiddie litter as well. So it's a very fine line between pole and completing a lap around here. That's for sure. Yeah,
that's right. One slightly a little bit too late, and like you said, you can be off in the kiddie litter into the tyre wall. Hit the barrier, do yourself some damage, and you're back in the pit trying to make repairs to your car. So it would be interesting to see how the rest of this qualifying pans out. It looks like we've got roughly about 27 and a half minutes to go. Sharman on top in the McLaren, and I actually believe a bit of a shout out to the TTL guys and the Direct Clutch Motorsports. They've just come off of a 1,000-kilometre endurance round, and I believe TTL finished up in, I think it was P5, so a bit of a shout out to those guys. And Direct Clutch, I think off of memory, was around maybe 13th, or 16th is kind of ringing a bell. But tremendous effort for those guys. World event that they're racing in, and time wise and time difference from when it's being hosted to now to our time in Australia is very different, so good on them and very well done.
Yeah, that's right. And I was reading on Facebook earlier tonight, I think Kurt Stenberg had a bit of a problem in the Suzuka race in about hour 6, I think it was. There was a fair ways into it anyway when they came unstuck, but hopefully they managed to finish the race.
Yeah, I believe they did. I'm pretty sure that Stenny actually managed to limp the car around and finished, I'm thinking, around 40-something position. So it's well done by the Aussies. It's good to have some teams out there and taking up to some of the best around there in the iRacing leagues.
Yeah, that's for sure. Now I'm just trying to bring up the weather, folks, because we did cover this earlier in the broadcast, but I think it didn't go to air. So I'm just going to bring that up and we'll have a chat about the weather. 1 second. Okay, so I'm having a look at the weather now, folks. It's mostly cloudy out there with 30 degrees. Track temperature's 44 degrees Celsius. Winds are gusting in a northerly direction. Yeah, that's it. Sorry, getting a bit flustered here. At up to 15 kilometres an hour, but I did notice earlier it was gusting around from the south to southeast occasionally too, which tends to be the case with some of these circuits. So looking at that, they should be able to get quite a nice tailwind coming down the main straight, but conversely a headwind going up that back straight, Scott.
Yeah, that's it's going to be a tricky one. Like you said, the wind's coming, tailwind on the pitch straight and into a headwind down the back. So all important to really get a good run out of corner 4, which is the outward curve, and power up that little hill there and try and tuck into the draft and make a nice passing manoeuvre down into the hairpin. So you'll be really wanting to stick up the axle and the diff of the guy in front for that draft and really get a nice toe.
Yeah, that's right, and that makes all more important, turn 4 when they come onto that back straight. They've really got to get a good exit out of there, otherwise it's going to cost them when they get to the hairpin up the end of that straight.
Yeah, turn 4, it's a bit of a tricky corner as well. It seems to like it's a very long radius corner, but if you get on the power too soon and you don't have your setup working right, you'll get a lot of push, which means you'll have to come off the gas and get the front settled and then wait. Whereas you want to be getting on the gas and making it round the exit of the corner nice and smoothly without having to really do much lifting, if any.
Yeah, that's right. It's a really hard track to set up for, because down in turn 6 down there, we've got a bit of a negative camber, which I found tends to make my car feel taily. And then again up in turn 9, up in the hairpin, or not the hairpin, coming up towards the end of the track, I find the car wants to push wide. So I find it very difficult to get a good car set up at this track.
Yeah, it seems to have a lot of its corners are kind of more of a late apex, not so much a early apex or really mid corner. So having your car set up for that, you don't want to be having the car so that it squats on the rear very quickly. You want it to keep its grip on the front so that you can still get a lot of the turn at the exit of the corner without a lot of push. So guys will be fighting that throughout the race. Tyre wear also, I think, is going to be an issue, especially on the front end. I think front tyres are going to have a pretty big part in how this race plans out. And guys will be, I guess, looking at what they can do to maintain some good front grip.
Yeah, that's right. And tonight's 2 hour. I think we'd be looking at, a one-stop strategy tonight? What's your feel on that?
Yeah, it definitely looks a one-stop strategy in my eyes. I know a few guys are looking at figures and, do they do a full fuel stint at the start and then their second part or second stint, only putting in whatever fuel they need to get to the end. Like I said earlier, I hadn't done many laps out here this week. So as a fuel gauge, I think I roughly worked out after doing about 10 laps of around the 210 litre mark, maybe around the 205, something around that. And the fuel tanks on these cars, they should get through to doing that and maybe adding, an additional anywhere between kind of 90 and 100 litres for that last stint. But we might see some guys actually take that smaller fuel at the start and do a tyre change and try and get grid or track position and jump them in the pits for the other guys that hold on and do the longest stint first.
Yeah, especially if we've got many of the faster drivers buried further back in the field, they may definitely opt for that, hoping to get into clean air, do some hot laps, and then, as you said, Scott, jump them in the pits later on in the race.
Yeah, that's right. And, you know, there is the class of the field of this event is, you know, you don't have to be very, very much off the front runner to be kind of mid-pack and towards the back. So guys will be, if you're buried back there, they'll be looking at strategy and what they can do to jump themselves up the field.
Yeah, exactly right. So we've only, looks like qualifying's finishing now, folks. So we'll take you through the final results as I have them on my overlay. At the moment, we've got Dylan Sharman, Matty Hill taking first with the 128.1. Closely followed by Brett Woodson and Christopher Osborne in their rough, and then taking out third at the moment is a BMW by the looks of it, Mr. Hamilton and Mr. McKeon, is that how we pronounce it? Taking out third.
That's the 3C's craft beer racing, I believe.
Okay, yep. Just trying to I've closed my point score at the moment, but we've definitely got I think those three are in the top four anyway, fighting for points. I know Team TTL are leading by 300 points, and then Direct Clutch Motorsports are second, and they're 1-2 on the grid, so it's going to be interesting to watch those guys, I think, tonight.
Yeah, look, you know, you're down to the final 2 rounds, and guys are going to be doing whatever they can to try and score maximum points throughout the remaining this round and one to go. So 300 points is not a great deal, and if the TTL car doesn't have a good result and the other guys do, well, that's going to bring it down to the final round, really, to crown our SEK Queensland Endurance Champion for 2014, really.
Yeah, I think it's going to pretty much, we'll see how it goes tonight, but I think it could come down to either tonight or next week to wrap this up. So we're just waiting for the guys to start to take the grid, folks, and we will go from there in a moment.
Some of the guys are gridding up now, and others will be loading their race setups into the car. So it won't be far away from a start now.
That's right. I'm just wrestling once again with our driver overlays. I might have to restart them. One moment.
Benny, I think this is going to be more of a sprint race too, mate. 2 hours is a good, you know, nice distance and everything, but geez, I think guys will be going at it well and truly right from the beginning, and not a lot of backing off.
Yeah, definitely. I think it'll definitely feel like a sprint race, and the drivers will probably have one stint each, so they'll probably attack it very much like a sprint, I think. But saying that, hopefully they will be a bit cautious going through the first couple of corners. So we're just seeing now as Dylan Sharman and Christopher Osborne takes to the grid, and the lights are up, folks. Okay, they're off. Green flag. Looks like a nice clean start so far. Everyone away.
Great start from the rough there of, I believe it's Brad Wooten who's actually started that one. And Dylan Sharman, great start from those two. Sharman takes the lead into corner 2.
Yeah, and it looks like the whole field has got through the first couple of corners, which is great to see.
Good clean start, that's what we want to see. And look, these guys are good enough and mature enough. They know how to give each other racing room. And now it's going to be, that drag down the back straight and see who can pick up some positions coming into the hairpin turn.
Yeah, and Dylan Sharman's got the lead, but as always, Christopher Osborne is stalking him. And as we know, Christopher's no slouch when it comes to driving that rough around these tracks.
No, not at all. He's got a really good handle. Well, both Christopher and Brad Wooten have got a really good handle on this rough, and it's good to see. But we're looking at it now. We've got a McLaren first, rough second, BMW third, another McLaren fourth. Looks like another McLaren fifth. So BMW sixth. The spread of the evenness throughout this field is really good to see. Looks like we've got Sam McLeod in the Four Motorsports just making a move down the pit straight. So he's probably had a good run with that tailwind that we were talking about earlier, Bernie.
Yeah, definitely. I was just watching as they were coming out onto the main straight, the BMW did run wide, which gave the McLaren a really good run down that straight to take him for the first corner there. So just rounding out the top 5, folks, we've got, as we just said, Dylan Sharman in the McLaren in the lead, followed closely by Brad Wooten. Then Scott McLeod in the McLaren, Mr. McKeon in the BMW, and then the Schweck brothers coming 5th in their BMW. McLaren, sorry.
Good clean start too, Bernie. This was really good to see. Lap 2, and it doesn't look like we've had really any guys come off or had any incidents, which is good to see.
Yeah, definitely. I was a bit concerned how they were going to approach this, but at the moment, it looks like all of them have completed the first lap. The only ones I've got here in white, which may not have started, was Jonathan Selhani and Mitchell McLeod. They may be out there, folks. It just could be my bandwidth playing up.
Bit concerned at the moment with Justin McEwen in the 3Cs Craft Beer Racing. He's getting a bit of a pile up of cars behind him, and the top top 3 guys really are kind of starting to stretch a gap a little bit with them. So they had good pace in qualifying. I believe they started in 3rd, so they have dropped a position, but they're getting in that gaggle of cars starting to build behind them, that's for sure.
Yeah, and as we say that, Colin's having a look down the inside in the McLaren, and now he's got to watch it as Justin comes back on the inside. That's a really...
he got held out wide there, didn't he?
He certainly did. Looks like Lewis is capitalising on that move as well. But as we say,
well, he's going to have the inside run now, but it's that would have been close. He'll have the inside run here. Now really he should be able to get his position back. And still side by side racing. And Guy Leach, I believe, is right behind these two, and we'll be getting a nice draft down the front straight here. He might look at following through.
Yeah, the guys are definitely...
he sits back.
Yeah, the guys are going to have to definitely be cautious here, because this could all end in tears for quite a few of these drivers if they're not careful.
Yeah, these guys have got to give each other a bit of patience. You've understandable fighting for a position, as we see Guy Leach make a great move down the inside. That was really deep under brakes. That was for 6th position, I believe. 7th position.
And the McLaren's having another look on the inside. This time he's determined to make that move stick. And it'll be interesting to see if he can now gap Justin in that BMW.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what's happened with Justin. Because like I said before, they had some good pace on board, but maybe they're playing a fuel numbers game here and are going to try and stretch out the fuel strategy longer, and their fuel burn isn't, at what the other guys are running.
Yeah, he definitely. It definitely looks like it's some sort of fuel strategy, because at the moment they're all over him through those corners. We'll see how he goes down this straight.
The guy each pulls out deep under brakes. Doesn't make the move. Probably thought better of it. He's probably just lining him up and seeing where he's got better strengths and where Justin's a little bit weaker, and probably make his move after that. Maybe down into the next corner.
Yeah, I think he'll be
got
having
a good run on him now.
Ooh, deep under brakes there. I think he's going to have him here. Yep, good move.
And gets him. Geez, he's good under the brakes there, Guy Leach. That's 2 manoeuvres that we've seen him do down into that section of the track, and it's really paid off well both times.
And now the rough's having a look on the 3C BMW. There's a bit of contact in the background, but the drivers are still circulating, and that looks like it was, I'm just having a look now, Baden Reed, I think, in the number 28 rough made that move stick, so that's great.
So there's just battles all over the place, isn't there, at the moment? We've got Warren Pickering and Lewis. Oh, I can't pronounce his surname. I'm sorry, Lewis. You might have to jump in the comms box and let us know how to pronounce your surname. But Lewis in the Blackadder Motorsports, number 67, had a great battle there with Warren Pickering and continues to hold that position.
Yeah, again, as these guys are starting to close in, it looks like right behind Warren it might be Matthew Barron in the short shift BMW having a close look as well.
Yeah, but they all seem to be getting held up with Justin. Justin seems to be the one who's kind of holding this gaggle of cars up. It's going to be interesting to see what happens during the pit stop times.
And it looks like Matthew made that move stick on Warren when Warren ran wide, and he got through. So that was a fortunate move for the short shift BMW Z4.
Tell you one guy who's made some good positions, he's made up 10 positions, is Brent Tucker in the All-Star Motorsports BMW. He started out, he qualified with a 1:30.4, and that's not he did a best time in his practice of a 1:29.8, so he would have been disappointed with that time, but he's made his way up to 18th, so he's in the top 20. That's really good to see from Brent. They're a young up-and-coming team, I believe around 6 to 12 months old only in iRacing as a team, so it's good to see them getting involved and starting to produce some good results for the team.
Yeah, definitely, and hopefully Brant might jump up in the commentary box a bit later for a bit of a chat with us, so it'd be fun to see how their race is going, but so far they're doing quite well. Looks like they're running 17th. Notice in the background, Scott, a few of the drivers have had a few minor spins on the tight parts of those corners so far, but it looks like they're all still circulating with no damage, which is great.
Yeah, I think because of the speed of the corners, unless you have like a really bad off, I don't think there's going to be that much damage to some of the cars. So, you know, there's a lot of runoff in some of the corners, like down into the hairpin. There's plenty of room off the side of the track that these guys should be able to try and recover the cars without doing too much damage.
Yeah,
I mean, there's battles happening throughout the field. You know, we're looking at 25th position. So I'm just looking at the moment with Bradley Matheson, Glenn Firth, and Ross Hanson. You know, they're 25th, 26th, 27th positions here that they're all kind of vying for. But there's just battles everywhere, and this type of race and track is going to provide battles just everywhere.
Yeah, definitely. And I've just noticed it looks like Warren Pickering's carrying quite a bit of front end damage on his RRT Rough number 15 at the moment, so it looks like they're going to be trying to nurse that car through to the first stop at this stage.
It's one of your drivers, isn't it, Bernie?
Yeah, mate, it's one of ours. I'm trying to remain impartial.
Mate, I don't know when it happened, but Sam McLeod up into second position has got past Brad Wooten for that spot. So Brad now back into third. Not sure if Brad may have had an off or Sam's just showing some really good pace at the moment. But the Four Motorsports McLaren moving along quite nicely.
Yeah, we're just trying to get a replay of that at the moment, folks. But it looks like he's flashing in and out, so we'll go back to live there. So that's that McLaren's really hooked up in this race tonight, that's for sure. Coming up to second, it's a fantastic effort, but he's got just over 5 seconds to try and round up Dylan Sharman in their TTL team McLaren.
Yeah, well, geez, Sam's done a 128 oh no, that was qualifying, sorry. 129.1 is his fastest time, but consistently from lap 2 onwards, all in the 29s. Whereas Brad Wooten, he's dropped a 131.4, so maybe there was an off for Brad that we didn't see. And Dylan Sharman, 128.7 is his best time, and pretty much in the 129s as well. So it'd be interesting to see if Sam bridges that gap to Dylan and makes for a battle for the lead.
Yeah, well, I'm just having a look at the top 3. They're all in the 129s. Then Guy Leach in 4th. He's in the low 130s, followed by Colin Schweck in the low 130s. So back to 6th. They're doing 130s. So they're about half a second slower than the top 3 at this stage per lap.
Yeah, but we can't forget that these guys are also battling at the start, you know, for the first, what about lap 10 now? So probably for about the last 6 to 7 laps, really, that they've all been battling and vying for position and ducking and diving and that type of thing. So that would have slowed their pace down a little bit, and now they've probably got just a little bit more consistency in their lap times. They're not really fighting for position. There's not any strong braking manoeuvres getting made or anything like that. So if anything, I'm looking at Guy Leach at the moment. He looks like he might be just gapping the guys behind, which is Colin Schweck, Braden Reed and Lewis.
Yeah, and we're just having a look further back in the field, and Justin McCown is still being swamped by a lot of drivers as Paul Feely now is starting to catch him and trying to find a way through as well.
So I think roughly lap-wise, I've heard around the 40-odd kind of lap mark, maybe up to 40, lap 45, just depending on fuel burn and strategy. So, you know, we're about 30 to 35 laps away from pit stops window kind of thing. it'd be interesting to see who's going to maybe do the shorter of the first stint and get some fresh tyres on and maybe try and jump a few guys in the pit stop scheme of things.
Yeah, that's right. And having a look at Justin again, he must be running to a number because he's back in 10th now, and he's still got a train of probably 6 cars behind him, looking for a way around him at this stage.
Yeah, it's got to be, Bernie. I mean, he did in qualifying. His qualifying time was a 28.3, although in all fairness it was Gary Hamilton who did the qualifying. So maybe the race setup isn't necessarily to Justin's liking. Maybe they are playing a shorter fuel and they'll put Gary in for the remainder of the race in the second stint. But, you know, that's going to be a lot of catching up if that's the case for Gary to do.
Yeah, that's right, and I can't really see in a one-stop strategy a fuel saving really playing a part, unless they thought they may be marginal on finishing. But from the numbers I saw, it looks like it should be fairly easily a one-stop race. Yeah,
but we've got to also remember that the guys can adjust the fuel burn inside the cabin of the car for these Pacific cars. So it could be they could be worrying about their fuel strategy that way and have fitted Justin with a lower fuel tank to start with, and then Gary will jump in and do a longer stint. But they need to get they need to get the car to that stint where Gary can jump in and do the remainder of the race on a full tank then.
And it looks like Lewis Kugeley in the Blackadder BMW starting to look on, who's it, Brad? Baden Reed's rough for a pass coming down into the hairpin here. He has a look, but he thinks twice about it. And right behind them is Matt Barron coming under threat by Paul Keegan. So these guys are having a fantastic battle.
But it's just battles all over the place. It's hard to keep up.
Yeah.
Right, there's just little groups of cars happening everywhere really though, isn't there? I mean, like that battle you said, Paul Keegan, Matthew Barron, Lewis, Braden, even Colin there. Guy Leach has obviously stretched the gap on those guys, so he's in some clean air and he's just able to run his own race and hit his marks. But the other guys are just, you know, really battling hard for position. And it's really good to see there's so many different weaknesses and strengths of different cars on this track. Some guys are really good under brakes, but then some are like really getting the power down a lot sooner and getting the drive out of the corners a lot better. So it's really good to watch and see. As that's some seriously good pass there. We saw Matty Barron take a good manoeuvre down on Lewis on the inside into corner 4 as they headed up along the back straight.
I'll see if we can catch that on replay, folks. Yeah, we just saw Baden Reed take the Schweck McLaren as well coming into the first corner. We're just following this replay now of that move you're just talking about, Scott. Wow, that was...
Yeah, Matty Barron just... He sat there, but geez, the under brake manoeuvre was just phenomenal. It was brilliant to watch.
Yeah, and he capitalised a bit on the Blackadder BMW. Went pretty deep under brakes there, I must say. It was great to see them all come out of that corner unscathed, though. It looks like Matty Barron's now having a look at Colin Schweck's MP3. So it looks like the Schweck brothers are starting to slide back as the race progresses now. And out front, folks, we've still got Dylan Sharman in his McLaren. He's now got out to a 7-second lead over Sam McLeod, followed closely by Brad Wooten, 800ths of a second down the track. But we'll stick with this at the moment, folks, because this is where all the action is.
These guys just don't know. They're just, I want the spot. No, you have the spot. No, I want the spot. It's crazy.
Yeah. No, Okayama's really turning it on for us tonight. It's fantastic to see. Whoa, that was so deep.
Another huge move. My goodness. Oh, the brakes on these cars are going to be absolutely fried. I think this is a battle of the brake pads, not the bloody drivers.
Yeah. I was holding my breath. I thought he was going to clean up all of them. I don't know how he managed to get that car through there like that. Incredible driving.
I've been given a bit of a heads up that Lewis is actually quite a quick driver and can take it up there with some of the best. So I think he's doing a bloody good job at doing that at the moment. He's definitely pulled off some moves that I didn't think were going to come off, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, he definitely showed that in that last move. He took about 3 positions in that one corner. It was incredible.
Now he's on the tail of Paul Keegan. Yeah, Paul Keegan in the Net Virtue Racing BMW. He's actually got a good run out of that corner, so he'll pick up the draft here and should be in a good position to make a move down the inside into the hairpin.
Yeah, he's definitely making that move
pulls
now.
in. Nice move. A little bit of flashing going on, so maybe he's having a few net issues there, which doesn't help. But he's definitely made that move, and he's maybe looking at putting the foot down and getting up with some of those front runners, for 5th and 6th positions. Sorry, 5th and 4th positions.
Yeah, because he's up to 6th now. He's definitely the mover of this field at this stage, but he's definitely having some net issues, as I'm noticing. He's flashing on my my driver screen here. The other guy on the move at the moment is Gavin Saddler. We're having a look at him now.
I was just about to bring him up, Bernie. Yeah. I was looking at him early in the team IRFF, so the I Race for Fun, which is actually the host for this event, and they do a fantastic job at putting on a great race and great event championship every week. Yeah, and
he started in 23rd. He's up to 11th now, so that's a brilliant drive by Gavin at the moment. But I was speaking to Gavin earlier in the week, and I'm hoping to get him up at some stage, either this round or the next round, so he can tell us a bit about the future of this fantastic series and what he might have planned for next year.
Yeah, it'd be great to get him up, not only to see what's going to happen in the 2015 season, but just to have a chat to the guy who does a lot of work behind the scenes and the hosting, and not only the GT3 Endurance Series that we're watching now, but there's the Oscar Series, Oval stuff. Yeah, they do a lot of work for the Australian New Zealand community, and it's really good to see. So, well done to those guys, and I hope that the new year and the new series and whatnot next year is going to be just as good, if not better, than what we're witnessing today.
Yeah, well, going by Gavin's track record and I Race for Fun's track record, they do put on a brilliant event. They always have. And I think they're just going to get better and better as they go. But it's not just a case, as you said, there's a lot of work that goes into these events. It's not just a case of throwing a server up and going to racing. They've got to, go through all the replays, put down point penalties. They've got live admin going. There's a lot of people working in the background to bring this to you tonight, folks.
That's a great battle, but they're coming up against Justin again, so Justin's still in a bit of a trouble. I'm wondering if he's got something wrong with the car, maybe. Is there some damage? Doesn't look like there is, but yeah, I just don't know what's going on with them. Wonder if we might get one of them in the comms box and...
Yeah, we'll just jump on board with Justin and see if we can pick anything up from the cockpit. He definitely looks like he's nursing the car, going by having a look at a couple of those corners we've just gone through.
Yeah, I think Gav's trying to put a move on him now, so yes. I actually believe that we've got Reese Gardner waiting in the room for an interview.
Fantastic. Well, we definitely bring Reese up and see how they're going in their short shift BMW. Hi Reese, welcome to the commentary box. How's your race going tonight in the short shift BMW?
Yeah, it's going pretty good, guys. I think we started around about 14th. Don't have quite as much quality pace as we would have liked to, but we knew we had good race pace, and I guess that's shown because we managed to work our way up to 9th. And aside from a couple of mishaps on track, I think we're doing pretty well.
Yeah, we're looking... Yeah. Sorry, Scott, you go, mate.
I was going to say, mate, we've been watching the short shift car in some great battles throughout the first 18 laps, and Matty Barron, I believe, behind the wheel there. Now, you guys teamed up for the last round at Coacher as well, is that right?
Yeah, that is true.
And unfortunately we had some technical issues at the last round, so how did you go there? Because I know that your race previous to that was you were really happy with how you were going, but unfortunately you couldn't get the driver to co-drive with you, so you've picked up with Matty Barron and you guys are going to try and go through the rest of the season together?
Oh, we've been racing together since the start of the season. My issue at Bathurst was the guy that I brought in to replace Matty because he was busy with other things at the time, and that was the problem at Bathurst. But yeah, we've been a pretty good pairing all season, and we've had some really good results, and there's been no first stint mishaps like there have been at quite a few of the events this season so far. At least I'm touching wood very hard right now, but yeah. This is looking pretty good, and we're definitely looking forward to Suzuka.
Yeah, I bet you were holding your breath earlier in the race with that big gaggle of cars behind Justin as you were all trying to make a move on him.
Yeah, that was some heart and mouth, bite your bottom lip kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm impressed though. Everyone's driving really cleanly out there tonight, and there's been some really amazing moves, I must say.
Oh yeah, certainly.
Reese, for you guys, we've been talking a little bit about strategy and probably like a single stop but two stint strategy. Is that the way it's going to pan out for you guys, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the last 2-hour race we had was at Silverstone, and that turned out to be a fuel saver kind of race because of the nature of the track. But in my testing for this round, since Okayama is such a short track with not as much time spent on throttle, there's no fuel saving required at all. And I think it's actually one of the lightest fuel burns of all the rounds. So yeah, pretty much just one stop and away we go.
So based on
do you think strategy... Go on, Bernie.
I was going to say, so based on that, Reese, when should we start expecting the guys to be pitting in this race?
I would think about the 1 hour mark. I mean, I'm not that elaborate of a strategist, but basically what me and Squiz have been doing is trying to split the race into as equal parts as we possibly can, because that's what seemed to work for us so far this season, so why change it now?
And what about tyres, mate? I mean, we've talked about fuel, but is tyres something that on this track it's going to get you through 2 stints, or is a tyre stop along in the pit stop going to have to happen as well?
I would say that the tyres will be a factor because in our testing before this particular race, our setup was a bit slippery at the rear, and we've tried to dial that out, but yeah, I think tyres are definitely going to be a thing.
So not giving away if you're going to change tyres or not?
Oh yeah, of course we're going to change tyres. We always have every race.
I've heard some rumours through the week that some guys might be going to try and do the whole race on one set of tyres and make up a bit of ground in the pit stops that way. So it'll be interesting to see how it pans out.
No, I don't think we're going to do that. This track eats tyres for breakfast and has very little grip, so I think we'll just go the safe route and change tyres.
Yeah, so before we let you go, Reese, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to or a thanks?
Maddie for doing a really good job in this race so far, definitely, and also to all the guys at Custom Image Motorsports. Me and Maddie joined that team just before the start of the season, and they've given us a lot of support with regard to supporting our endeavours and helping us out with setups and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Also to Jay and Sandman for presenting Short Shift, which is our primary sponsor on this V8's online motorsport BMW.
Yeah, speaking of Jay, we've got him waiting for an interview, so we might bring him up in a moment and have a chat and see how his race goes.
Do we want to keep Reese in here for that as well?
Yeah,
that'll be a bit of fun.
If Reese has got time, definitely.
All right, yeah, no problem. I may have to run, but we'll see how long I can stay.
All right, bringing Mr. Kennedy up into the commentary box. How's your race going tonight, Jay?
He's speechless.
I'm sure he'll come back.
He's stunned by my dashing good looks.
Are you there, Jay?
We've got typing in a box, so maybe he's having a bit of a technical issue with his communications.
Yeah, it definitely looks that way. We'll see if we can sort it out, and we'll keep on having a look at this race, seeing how it's panning out. So at the moment, we've got Dylan Sharman out in front. He's now stretched his lead to over 11 seconds over Sam McLeod in the Torque McLaren. But right behind him is Brad Wooten in that direct clutch rough. He's not letting him go. Now, some 17 seconds down the track, we've got Guy Leach in his SEK Queensland Z4, followed by Baden Reed, who's having a fantastic drive to round out our top 5. Now, Baden started in 10th and he's up to 5th at this stage in the race. Okay, Jay, you with us, mate? Tell you what, this is the most I've ever heard Jay say in a long time.
Just wondering if it's something to do with some permissions for him or not.
I'll have a look, hang on.
Here we go, we're getting Jay, we're getting him. We got you for just a couple of seconds there, Jay.
So on track, Dylan Sharman currently leading the pack. He's actually coming up to some lap cars at the moment, but he has a 11 odd second gap to Sam McLeod in the 4 Motorsports McLaren, and sitting right behind him is Brad Wooten in the Direct Clutch Motorsports Rough. So these guys have been battling hard all pretty much from the start. So we saw earlier that Sam got past Brad, but obviously Brad's been able to keep up with him now and battle away with each other.
Yeah, and it looks like all the way down in 22nd position, Lance Hawes and Mark Noble in their KRF BMW are having a great battle with Dean Prescott at the moment. So yeah, as you said earlier, Scott, we've got battles all up and down the field tonight.
We're getting Jay's blue light flashing, but we're not getting any actual verbal...
Hey, you got me now, boys?
There he is!
Something's happening with my voice activation, so I've got push to talk back on again. But hello, boys.
How are we, Jay?
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit under the weather, so that's why I'm not out in the car this week. But got Matt Stratford and it's actually Mitch McLeod out in where you're saying Sam McLeod. Had some issues with the team registration, so that's Mitch. He's borrowed his dad's account and Gavin's approved all that to get it up and running. So
right.
It's a bit of a shock to see Sam McLeod out in front, up the front, but it's actually Mitchell.
Okay. I was wondering about that, but okay. So we've got Mitchell McLeod is actually. Sorry, Sam McLeod is Mitchell McLeod. Yes, Mitch McLeod, correct?
Yeah, so that's Mitch actually in the car. Sam McLeod is Mitch's dad, who actually. Most of you guys have probably raced in the V8 supercar quite a bit. But yeah, that's Mitch driving the car at the moment.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, he's definitely...
glad that one was cleared up.
I'll tell you what, Jay, you must be happy with his performance at the moment, coming in second and holding off Brad Wooten's rough. They've definitely got this McLaren hooked up tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, Mitch is not only... He's not long got back from holidays, but Matt's been pretty keen this week. He's done a fair bit of practice, so he's put in a fair bit of setup work, and the boys are doing really well, so I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah, no, it's great to see the Torque McLaren up there, giving it to the rough and keeping them honest, that's for sure.
I'm thinking one advantage we might have is our guys have actually had some sleep. Obviously the guys from TTL and Direct Clutch, they've been up since all hours of the morning racing the Massive Endurance race overnight or this morning, so might play into our hands a little bit there.
Yeah, I think that...
Bit of driver fatigue, you think, coming into it?
Oh, I think it would have to be a little bit of fatigue coming into it at this point in the race. Like, I mean, they've been up since, midnight last night racing. They wouldn't have had much sleep during the day with V8 supercars on, and I'm sure that it'll be playing into our hands later on, hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, he's got a bit about a 13-second gap at the moment to Dylan Sharman. So you think he can bridge that gap?
Probably not. Dylan's very, very good in these GT3 cars, so our boys are just out there having fun. If they crash in the next lap, I don't think they care, so that's probably the best attitude to have in this sort of series. You go out there and have some fun, and if you have a good result, it makes it even better.
Yeah, that's right, and that's what these guys, we look at iRace for fun, and it kind of says it in the name, doesn't it? That's what it's all about. So it's good to see some guys out there and having fun, and like you said, come home with a great result just makes it that bit much better, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it, and I think the whole driver swap thing, the ability to have a race with your friends and bring that out, I think has made the whole iRacing thing even bigger and better again, and we're all loving it.
As we say that, folks, Brad Wooten just made a fantastic move on Mitch McLeod, going through the hairpin, nice clean move, so that brings Brad up to second and Mitch down to third.
I think Mitch lost a little bit of time getting around that lap traffic a little bit earlier in the lap, but he won't care. He'll be pushing on pretty hard. Brad's a pretty good steerer, so I don't think it'll worry him too much seeing Brad pass him.
And Jay, when you were talking, I forgot to thank iRace for Fun myself in my shout-outs. I probably look like the biggest douchebag for that, but thank you very much, iRace for Fun, for organising this series. It's been an absolute pleasure to compete in this, and I've had a ton of fun giving me something else to do on Sunday nights, so thank you very much. I just noticed my teammate Matty Barron's just passed Colin Schwecke for 7th position. I mean 8th, sorry.
Yeah,
so he's just moved up a spot as well, has he? Okay, he has too.
See if we can get that on replay.
See.
Just bringing up the replay, folks.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a trial getting past Mr. Schwecke for Matty. We seem to have the edge on the braking zones and at the apex, but the Schwecke guys seem to have the edge on corner exit and just traction straight up out of the corners. So I think it'll be a big relief for Matty and a big relief for me that we'll finally pass them. But good job, guys.
Yeah, he made a really...
Not only pass, but he's put a bit of a gap on him too, really, hasn't he, now? Almost a 2-second gap straight away.
The squirrel has been unleashed.
Yeah, while you guys were talking, we had the replay showing that overtake, and he made a really good overtaking move into the hairpin, which he's just going through now. So that's where he made the move stick.
Guys, I was saying earlier about like the track seems to suit the cars in so many different areas. Like the BMW seems to be really good under brakes, but then kind of like the exit out of the corner is suiting the McLaren. We kind of all know that the rough's got really good turning and that anyway. So it's, you know, your cars are set up so differently for different aspects of the track because you've got so many like, you know, weaknesses and strengths throughout the whole track. You guys are, you know, kind of looking at that kind of thing and going, well, okay, these guys are good here, so I need to be able to kind of hold them up so that I can get a gap at this part of the track or anything like that?
Well, for me, I was just struggling to get a lap in, so I wasn't too worried about anyone else, just worried about myself. And I think a lot of other guys are struggling, especially turn 2. I was in the McLaren really struggling through turn 2, so probably where a lot of guys are losing time there in the McLaren, and other guys will be taking advantage of that.
Yeah, and for us in the V8 Online Motorsport BMW, the first sector is pretty good for us. You know, those long sweeping turns really seem to suit the BMW. It's just in sectors 2 and 3, the slower part of the track, we don't seem to have as much of an edge. So that's one area of the circuit that we've sort of tried to bias our setup towards in the hopes of gaining a bit more time. So yeah, that's our point of view.
I think they're looking at it, this track's probably been the most suited for all 3 cars. Like, there's no one car that has a massive advantage over the others like we've seen at other tracks, which I think's probably the biggest key to parity in a GT3 series.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jay. We've seen some really good racing between all 3 marks at this track, which I think is really good to see.
Yeah, I think it suits the format for the 2 hour as well. All that spread out, like, you know, we're at lap 30 now, and you know, Dylan Sharman's been lapping a few of the slower cars, but generally speaking, it's kept the racing quite tight and close.
I think the other thing,
it looks like Guy Leach is starting to come under a bit of pressure now from Baden Reed in their rough
too.
Anyway, guys, I think I may have to jump. It's coming up to the time that Matty's going to be taking his pit stop and me getting in the car and driving for the final stint, so it was good talking to you guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming up, Reese. It's great to have you up in the commentary box, and good luck with the rest of the race. We'll definitely be watching once you jump in, mate.
Thank you very much, guys. See ya.
See you, Reese.
We've also got Aaron Lee waiting to come up for an interview, so we might bring Aaron up and see how his RRT rough's going. Hi Aaron, Bernie here. Welcome to the commentary box. How's your race shaping up in your RRT car tonight?
Hi Bernie, hi guys. I just jumped back into the sim, so yeah, we're struggling a little bit with a little bit of pace and setup, but I guess that's part of the fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So who are you teamed up with tonight?
Sorry, I got in the middle of team talk as well.
Okay, I'm just trying to work out who you partnered up with tonight, because I know a lot of you guys were swapping around a bit today.
Yeah, I've been pimped out to Duncan tonight.
Okay, so you blokes are running down, looks like 11th, and started 11th. So how's the setup treating you in that rough tonight?
Yeah, we struggled. We didn't spend too much time during the week on the setup, which where we were at Cotter last week, we spent a bit more time and had a good car. But yeah, we are struggling a little bit with understeer. It's not much we can do. I chose Duncan to start tonight, something a little bit different, and let's see if we can bring it home strong. Yeah,
so are you expecting to get in the car in the next, 15 minutes or so?
Yes, I'll be stinting at the 1 hour mark, and then I'm just bringing it home, and hopefully we'll keep it out of trouble.
Okay, and it'll probably be full tank and 4 tyres, is that what you're planning?
They're our little secrets there. We can't share them on the big loudspeaker.
Good. Your team owner's very, very impressed. Well done, mate.
You're all right, boss man.
Aaron, you mentioned earlier about the understeer. Are you finding it mainly in the slower, tight corners or in the faster flowing?
We're finding that in the slower corners we're understeering in, and on the faster corners we're sort of understeering out. So it's a real the car's not as balanced as what we'd like, but at the same time, we're in that situation where this is the best we can get it with the amount of time we had to play around. I kind of like, as Bernie would say, I like the BMW a little bit better, but we seem to be playing with the rough at the moment. It seems to be a good car, just getting our head around the setup characteristics.
You got your teammate in front of you there, and I believe in the team number 1, the RRT team number 1 rough. Is there any orders happening here if a pass is going to be made?
I think we're going to see a Sebastian Vettel versus Daniel Ricciardo situation tonight.
Righto.
It's all good fun and games. We all have a good time together. They're a great bunch of guys, and now look, there is no team orders. Just don't hit each other. Otherwise, we end up with a big pink belly on ourselves.
Yeah, it's generally in the colour of a pink car, I believe.
Yeah, it's always fun and games. Bernie definitely turned it up for us, and now look, these guys are great. They're great to race with, and there's definitely not going to be any door handle bashing between us. Whoever's out in front, we'll just pull away, and if we're dicing, we'll work together and come through the field the best we can.
Yeah, I think that's what this kind of series, Jay and Reese were touching on it before with, you can jump in your car with a mate and you create mates by joining teams and that type of thing, but you can go out and have a good run and race clean and fair and, not worrying about contacting each other, but you've just, you can walk away from it and go, that was like a really good hard fought race and this is where we come, but at the end of the day, it's all about fun,
Yeah, it is all about fun, but as you know, it doesn't matter what you do, whether it's real racing, model car racing, or you're into some sim racing, it does get a little bit frustrating when you're trying your best and things don't go your way. But I must admit, being a part of the RRT team is fantastic. The guys are awesome, and even during the week when we all get on and have a muck around together, some of the things, the antics on track are fantastic, and just having a bit of fun is awesome. Definitely puts a smile on your face.
And that's what we like to see.
Definitely. I better run, boys. I'm going to go and suit up and get the race boots on and have a drink, and I'll see you guys on track.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for coming.
No worries, Aaron.
See you, boys.
See you, mate. So having a look now at our top 5, folks. Dylan Charman stretched that lead out to just over 14 seconds on Brad Wooten. And then Sam McLeod's dropped off about 3 seconds off his tail, but still holding third over Guy Leach, who's running fourth, some 13 seconds down the track.
We can't forget as well that that's actually Mitch McLeod in that car too, Bernie.
Oh, yeah.
Not Sam. Yep.
Yeah, Mitch. I just read what I see, so I get confused.
No, you're right, mate. You're right.
It's actually not even Mitch's fault that he's in as that too. It's actually Matt's fault. Matt will be in the car very soon, so our apologies for that.
It's alright, I'll just say
the technical issues of getting onto iRacing, eh?
Everything's brilliant when it works properly.
That's right. That's exactly, yeah, that's very right.
Yeah, well,
good battle brewing for 4th, 5th position. Even 6th there. They've got Timothy Schweck, who's down in 24th, but he's kind of in the middle. But there's a good battle brewing there, which is good to see.
Yeah, Baden's been stalking Guy now for quite a few laps, trying to work out where he can make a move, but he just can't.
I actually think that Guy's gotten past Baden. Baden, I'm pretty sure, was up in front of Guy many kind of laps ago. I'm pretty sure that Guy's gotten past him, so I wonder if it's kind of recently happened, or if Baden's tyres are just hanging on better and now he's putting a bit of pressure to Guy.
Yeah, I'm having a look at the overlays, and it says it doesn't appear that Baden was in front of Guy, but it does now as he makes a move on the hairpin, and it looks like he's making that move stick really well. So yeah, getting back to the overlays, his highest position was 5th up until that move, so I think he's just been around Guy for the whole race, but he wasn't leading up until now. And it looks like we've got Lewis. He's running 6th according to my overlays here. So it looks like he's fighting.
Yeah. So yeah, Lewis up in 6th position. So that's a good result for them. That's the Blackadder Motorsports Z4, and a few guys work in the background with this team. So. They've kind of work on setups throughout the week and share and whatnot, so obviously got a good setup working for them today.
So what we might
55-minute mark at the moment, Bernie, so it'd be interesting to see the pit stops when, or they should be starting to happen fairly soon, I would say. It'd be interesting to see who's going to be kind of the first in for the kind of scheduled stop time.
Yeah, we've had a few stop. Further in the field, Paul Feely stopped. They're doing around about between a 36 and a 46 second stop at the moment.
I know our guys are still going to have another 7 or so laps before they pit, so still got a little bit of time to go, thankfully.
What we might do, folks, is jump on board with Guy and give you a run around this track, just so you get a bit of a feel for it. If any of you guys want to talk the viewers around, feel free to jump in.
I got chucked in the deep end of that once already.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
I haven't got any live vision in front of me, so I'm not much used to that.
Who are we on board with? Sorry.
Guy Leach at the moment, but that's all right.
So just down into the bowl section of the track. So we're coming up to like the big back straight. It's really good to try and get good power out of here. try and pick up as much as a draft from the car in front of you as you can. And if you're sitting right behind a guy, make a move down into the hairpin turn. Looks like down into first, maybe for that corner they've gone into. No, second. Deep under brakes here, and you want to keep it tightly tucked in on the apex to the left. Now this corner here has got a late apex and can actually push you out quite wide if you miss it. Try and get on the power too soon. And down onto the pit straight we go. Well, these corners are actually off the gas or very minimal percentage, you know, the whole point of racing is trying to get on that gas as soon as you can, but a lot of these corners you need to be keeping the front tucked in and settled rather than trying to just get on the gas so early.
Yeah, thanks for that, Scott, for that lap. So we're just having a look now. Guy looks like he's we've got Lewis behind him, starting to look like wanting to make a move. And it's good to see Baden's he's started to make a gap on Guy at this stage.
They're coming up to some lap traffic too by the looks of it, so that'll play a part in what's going to happen between the positions of Guy Leach and Lewis.
Yeah,
that's a battle for 5th and 6th position.
Yeah, lap traffic's definitely playing a part in tonight's race. I noticed earlier Dylan was getting held up for a quarter of a lap trying to get through lap traffic, so that's, you know, when they're going to have to be a bit more cautious and don't take too many risks.
That's it, we're just coming up to the 60-minute mark now, so it's going to be interesting really now to see how long these cars are going to go out some, and some of them may have used a full tank of fuel, which is 115 litres, so that's going to be roughly, you know, the 45 lap mark, and they're just currently on lap 39 now, so it'll be interesting to see when these guys start to pit.
Yeah, well, Brad Wooten's in now. He's and they've just swapped drivers. So the front runners are now starting to come in, so I'd expect Dylan in the next couple of laps.
Looks like we've got Adrian down in the interview room there, Bernie.
Yep, I'll bring him up in one moment. I'm just seeing what Brad's stop. He did a 48.1. His Brad Wooten's stop was. Hi Adrian, Bernie here for RRTV. Welcome to the commentary booth. How's your race been shaping up tonight?
Hey Bernie, yeah, sorry mate. Yeah, my race was going okay until I sort of screwed up there in the last few laps, and I handed the car over to Alex to finish it off because I was in no state to finish driving.
Oh, that's no good. Are you under the weather, or was it the track just getting under your skin a bit?
Yeah, just made a couple of silly mistakes, and you know, if you drive angry you'll make some more, so just pass it over to Alex, and he's got a cool calm head on him, so let him finish off the race.
Yeah, sometimes it's best just to get out of the cockpit when you're feeling that way. I know I've lost my cool a few times and ended up binning the car, so I know how you feel there, mate. So
yeah, it's always best if you've got a spare driver, you know, like this is good for this series, you know, you got teammates and all that. If you're in that sort of mood, swap it over, and time calls you can jump it back in later. You know, this race here tonight, you know, you can't really afford to jump back in, so Alex is going to finish it off tonight.
Okay. Now Dylan Sharman's just come in and swapped out with Matty Hill. They did a 47.8, and it also looks like Reese Gardner will be jumping into the short shift BMW as they're in the pits now as well. So whereabouts are you running at the moment, Adrian? I'm just...
Yeah, we're near the back, mate. I was doing all right there at a stage, but like I said, I had a couple of incidences there, and we're back in 28th at the moment.
Okay, yeah, I've got you. I just wanted to bring your car up, that's all.
Yeah, sitting 28th at the moment. Unfortunately, 3 laps down, but there's still plenty of time to go there, Adrian. And Alex is, from my understanding, is no slouch behind the wheel. So potential there to still, be able to actually gain some positions with an hour's worth of racing still.
Yeah, Scott, that's right. I mean, last week when we ran Circuit Americas, that was my first hit out there, and I mean, it's a bit hard to try and race a race that you're not used to, but we were plugging around there, and we ended up gaining a couple of spots right near the end. So if we hang in there, we'll be okay.
Okay, before we let you go, Adrian, is there anyone you want to thank or give a quick shout out to, mate?
Yeah, Bernie, I'd like to thank Tim Bellinger. He's our car setter-upper. I know that's not a word. And also our paint guru. He supplies the paint for us, sets the car up. We do minor tweaks to the car, so he's a fantastic bloke. Great card to have on board, and just does a fantastic job with the short amount of time he does.
Yeah, fantastic, and the car looks great out there, I must say. I really like that livery that Tim's provided, so well done, Tim.
Yeah, no, he does a
Adrian,
good job.
Just before you do go as well, you guys, I believe, have a bit of a alliance happening with All Star Motorsport, so a bit of technical sharing of information, helping with setups, that type of thing. This type of series, you're saying that you're just getting into and you're really enjoying it. Is it something that you're going to look at continuing, into next season and next year?
Definitely a discussion between Tim and myself. We're looking at it. I mean, for this bigger series, and if there's bigger enduros, you're definitely going to need extra drivers, to run a team. We've been helping out the guys with setups, and they're doing a fantastic job, a lot quicker than me, but I'm still learning. I've only been on here for 6 months, so doing this sort of stuff is really a big learning curve, but pretty happy with the results that I'm putting out. And we might be expanding next season. We've got other things that we're doing as well.
And so what made you get into the iRacing side of simulation?
Tim again, I have to say, he's a good mate of mine. We were running Gran Turismo 5 there quite a while ago, and we started up our own league, and we were racing that and started off there, and he joined iRacing, and I've followed suit and absolutely loving it. It's the best thing. I've had brilliant last 2 months. My racing's improved, my times are improved, so yeah, just loving the sport. It's excellent stuff to do.
It's good, mate, and it's good to see some other guys, coming in and some fresh teams and that starting up and getting involved with others throughout the Australian New Zealand community and obviously worldwide as well. So it's good to have you on board, and very much wish you guys good luck for the future, and we'll definitely hope to see you, next year and next season in some of the GT3 and V8s and whatever it is that you're looking at doing.
Yeah, Scott, we're definitely going to keep running this series. Tim and Ray are going to do it a lot more. Myself, I'm going to do limited schedules. If there's a big one on, I'll jump in. I've got another series that I'm going to be committed to on a Saturday night, which I think Bernie runs as well with the Pit Talk. So I'm running that, and also I've got a little bit more commitment that I've been asked to help out with those guys. So Sundays might be a little bit tough for me to race, but who knows, I'll come in, and it's always good to race a bit more. You get more knowledge of tracks and get a little bit quicker.
Yeah, that's the SRA you're talking about, isn't it? I think Mark Lang runs that one. the Pit Talk GT3 series. It's a fantastic series, that one.
Yeah, Bernie, certainly is a good series. That was the first one I jumped into and got dragged into this one, and it's fantastic. I love the Enduros. A lot harder to concentrate, and I'm sure it's going to help me for Pit Talk and stay with these. This is awesome stuff, running with Aussies and just learning everything. So it's awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely my preference of racing these enduro type races in the GT3s. So
it sort of makes you think about how to race. Try and race a lot cleaner and try and bring a car home for your next mate. And it's awesome stuff. It really gets you to think.
Yeah, definitely. It also puts a bit of added pressure on, doesn't it? Especially if you spun it or whatever.
Yeah, it certainly does. I mean, I felt like a right royal idiot there when I've spun it twice on Alex. I mean, it's one of those things. Like my first spin was trying to get behind the leader and stick behind him and try and get some, learn the track a bit more off of him and try and get a bit more speed. But I just clipped the grass and spun it into the fence, so that didn't help us.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to do around this track though, mate. It can be very unforgiving around here.
Alright guys, I'll let you get back to the commentary. I'll watch it at some stage. I know you do an awesome job. I've watched a couple already, so have a great call and we'll catch up with you next week. Big 4-hour run at Suzuka, I believe.
Yep, it definitely is. So thanks for coming up, Adrian, and we'll see you next week for the 4-hour at Suzuka.
Yeah, no dramas, boys. I might even pop in and say hello again when I've got me stint over and done with, and I'll have a quick chat.
Be good to have you up here, mate, anytime.
No worries, boys. And like I said, if next season, if I'm only doing the big ones, I might even come in and say hello while I'm not doing anything.
No, I'd be happy to have you up here, mate, anytime you like. Just pop in.
Alright, boys. Catch us later.
See ya.
It looks like we've got a few guys down there, Scott. I'm just resetting our overlays, but it looks like we've got Gavin Saddler waiting to come up, so we might bring him up and have a chat about not only his drive, but maybe a bit about this fantastic series he puts on.
I think we should, mate. I think we should get him up here. I don't think we've had him in the comms box this season, so it'd be good to have a word to Gav.
Alright, I'm just getting I think I've got everything organised, so I'll bring him up. Did you want to have a chat while I get everything organised at this end?
I'll do my best, mate.
It's alright, I'll have a chat with you. It's fine, mate. It's fine. Hi, Gavin. Welcome to RRTV's commentary box. How's your race going tonight?
Yeah, we've had a pretty good race so far. I think started 23rd and was in the top 10 when I handed it over to Brett, so hopefully we get a good finish.
Yeah, you're definitely getting the Mover and Shaker award from me tonight, because that's it's not a small feat to be able to get that far up through the field on this track, so well done.
Sitting in P11, and actually I believe making a move as we speak on Timothy Schweck for 10th, so another position gained and made 13 spots from your qualifying. Got to be happy with that.
Yeah, we changed setups just before the race or for qualifying and ran it in the race. We got one off Guy Leach, our teammate, so it was completely different hours, but as a race setup it felt really good.
Yeah, and
that's good to hear, mate.
I'd also like to congratulate you, Gavin, and for putting on such a fantastic series tonight. Tonight's racing has just been, again, really good. So, what have you thought about what you got planned for next season for the iRace for Fun SEK Queensland GT3 Endurance Series?
Yeah, thanks for that. Next season is all planned. It's all ready to go, locked and loaded. Got a new sponsor on board for next season. Race Centre's coming on board to sponsor the series for us, and it's going to be a mixture of 2, 3, 4-hour races. I think there's one 400k race, 2 500k races, and we'll finish off with a 6-hour race right at the end. So we're running 10 rounds over 12 weeks, so we can accommodate teams entering the Australian Endurance Championship. So it should be make for a busy start to next year.
Fantastic. So it'll be a similar format to what we're seeing tonight. Same sort of cars, minimum 2 drivers, that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly the same again. Only difference is we're going to add up to 3 drivers. So for some of the longer races, guys may want to only do 1-hour stints or something. So we're going to add the option of teams adding a 3rd driver for the races.
Gav, personally, I think you guys have hit on a really good series. Good amount, like good distance in terms of length of race. Good tracks that are suiting the length of races that you're running at each round is really positive, and we don't hear anything other than positive results. So for us guys up in the comms box and even out racing, I just think it's a tremendous job you guys week in, week out put on a great series, not only in the GT3, but the others that you run throughout the week as well. And I think it's just fantastic for the community of iRacing to be involved with. So well done to you and the team. And we know that it's not an easy effort, as much as it probably looks like to people like you just put up a host of 7 away you go. But we know that there's a lot more to it. So massive congratulations for you and your team for 2014. And definitely looking forward to what's going to come out in the 2015 kind of season. So you've already mentioned there with some of the races, and we're really excited about that and can't wait to get involved.
Yeah, cheers for that. Thank you very much.
I'm just having a look at the gap, guys. Matthew Hill's gap down to Christopher Osborne is reduced now down to 11 seconds. So I think traffic's definitely playing a factor with Mr. Hill, and Christopher Osborne is definitely on a charge.
Yeah, only a couple of laps ago that was roughly a 13-second gap. So are we seeing, like, I guess kind of like the 2 or the more A kind of drivers doing different stints there, Bernie, and a bit of a tactics type thing? Was the setup more suited to what Christopher was requiring in the car? That's where team environment and team strategy becomes a huge effort in how your team's going to race over the whole distance of the race. It's not just a one-man thing where this is my setup and that's what we're going to go with. It's got to be some I can't think of the word. Compromise is what I'm looking for. Some compromise for what guys like in the car in terms of setup. So
yeah, definitely. I know my guys. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. They spend a lot of time through the week, not only getting a car set up that's compatible with the drivers, but they spend a lot of time pairing each other up to their own compatibility. Because as you know, each driver has their own preferences. So if you can get 2 drivers that feel good in the same sort of car setup, you're going to be a lot further ahead than the guys that aren't as compatible. But saying that, Matty Hill's no slouch, and but Christopher Osborne, I think, is definitely one of the A drivers. He's now down to 10.8 seconds, so he's pulled in half a second this lap, so he's definitely on a charge.
It is very hard to pass out there too, with the field being so close in qualifying times. The back markers are running pretty quick lap times, so it does make it pretty difficult to pass. There's only a couple of spots I found around here where you can do it.
Yeah, I must say, all the lap drivers, they're showing a great deal of respect to everyone out there, and I say it every week, the standard of driving out there is fantastic tonight. We've seen some really close racing, and they've given themselves room. And there's been no major incidents, so it's a real credit to all of the guys out there having a run tonight.
Gav, talking about future in the GT3 series, endurance series that you're running, so in terms of you're opening up to a third driver, I think that potentially see a lot more teams involved as well, having that option as a third driver. Some guys, they can't make it on that weekend due to personal commitments already, but they can then say, well, okay, we'll run with the two drivers that we have, kind of thing. Any other technical regulations or things like that you guys are maybe looking at changing?
No, I think that's about all for this next series. It just gives the teams an option if somebody withdraws at the last minute. They've already, possibly already got another guy entered in the room, so that's the reason why we thought we'd open it up. Plus having the one or two longer races too. Just opens up for more people to join in, I suppose.
Just got some info from the Ford Motorsport garage. Matt Stratford's just decided after his pit stop to release the pit lane speed limiter and drive down pit lane at 150 k's.
That's a good way of going fast in pit lane, but I dare say it's probably going to give him a black flag penalty.
I'm 100% sure it will, and it has. The comedy of errors at 4 Motorsport. Love it.
Yeah, we've got Mr. Stratford up on screen at the moment, so we'll see if he decides to take that penalty this lap, or how many laps do they have? Is it about 3 till they have to serve that?
Yeah, it's 3, but I'm fairly sure he's already served it and he's dropped back through the field.
Okay. And we've currently got Reese Gardner in the short shift BMW on screen at the moment, folks. He's now running in 5th position. Fantastic drive for that team, considering they started back in 14th, so they're still making inroads and improving. It looks
How
like,
good's that show short shift though?
Oh, it's an awesome show, mate.
No, it's terrible hosts though. Oh yeah, I can confirm something about the next episode. Next episode will actually be filmed on location at Mount Panorama.
Wow, that's awesome.
Bathurst 12 hour?
Yeah, that is correct. So Sam and I will both be we're actually staying at the same caravan park and sleeping in cabins next door to each other, so there might be some behind the scenes stuff happen too, the way that it'll probably end up.
Awesome. I know someone who's going to come and try and video bomb your production this time around, mate.
I'm sure you won't be the only one, Bernie. I'm actually lining up quite a few guys to have a chat with on the Saturday as well, so if guys are watching and want to have a chat with us and are going to the Bathurst 12 hour, shoot us a message and try and organise something.
Yeah, so do you think there's going to be like any of the guys getting together for a beer or anything during the 12 hour, or is it just pretty much mates meeting up with mates and going from there?
I know that during the Bathurst 1000 weekend it's become a very, very big tradition to all head to the pub on the Friday night and watch Brad Ryan make a fool of himself, so I'm sure that the 12 hour will be just the same.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This will be my first 12 hour next year that I'm going to, so hopefully I'll be able to run into a few of you blokes and say g'day.
Yeah, you'll find us, don't worry about that. But it'll also be my first 12 hour as well, and Sam Ann's as well, so we're all taking the family up and looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'll start packing my motorhome now, I think, and getting ready, I reckon. Okay, guys, the gap now is down to just over 8 seconds between Matthew Hill and Christopher Osborne, so at this rate I think he's definitely going to catch him. He's got 40 minutes left up his sleeve, so we could be in for a good finish here, guys.
Yeah, it's definitely looking that way. The other noticeable car I have picked up on is the Blackadder Motorsports. Has moved up into 3rd position. Braith Morrow. So those guys were kind of battling for around, anywhere between 8th to kind of 5th spot. So they've definitely got some good pace later on in this race and have moved up a few positions.
Yeah, the other thing I've noticed tonight, guys, is KRF seems to be running the BMW Z4s tonight, not the Roughs. I think there's one Rough and 2 BMWs out there tonight, which is great to see. Bit of a change up for them.
I think a lot of teams are still trying to find their feet on what car suits all the drivers within a team, and which guys are going to make compromises on which car suits the overall driving styles of the team. So I think we'll see a lot more changing before next season too.
Yeah, I know my guys were debating between the BMW and the Roughs. Like Aaron said earlier, his preference is the BMW, but at the moment they're just giving that a go. But I think you're right, Jay. I think we're going to see guys definitely swapping around the cars. One thing I'd like to see, if the handling gets sorted, is to see Ford GT3 in amongst these guys. But at the moment, I think the handling of that car's still a little bit off compared to the other GT3s.
Well, no, speaking for my team, we were originally going to run that car, but it just become too hard to work out because there's not enough setup sharing going on between teams and things like that. So we went to the BMW to start with, and then we started to find that we were more comfortable in the McLaren. So that's what we've done. And I know a lot of other teams are thinking very similar and swapping around and seeing what they like the most.
Yeah, I've been doing some testing as well, and next year I think I'm going back to the McLaren for next season. So it's definitely improved a lot, and I'm quite, I think, more comfortable in that car as well at this stage.
I think Gav might be looking at heading back to race control. So Gav, is there anything that you want to finish up with for tonight, and maybe any little inside information that we can be looking forward to for maybe the last round or next season?
Not really. I'm actually not running next round. I've got a Christmas party I've got to go to, so we've got a bit of a ring-in coming in to drive for us. So hopefully we can keep our team in the top 4 or 5 or wherever we end up, and yeah, it should be good.
Okay, mate. Well, you enjoy your Christmas party next weekend, and once again, mate, congratulations on such a awesome season and championship that you guys have put on, and we very much look forward to next season and seeing what you guys are going to come up with. So, yeah, congratulations once again.
Yeah, and cheers again for the this, guys. It's awesome to be able to watch it. So thank you very, very much.
Yeah, you're welcome, Gavin. We're more than happy to broadcast this series. It's a fantastic series, and hopefully this broadcast has gone without a glitch this week. So anyway, thanks for coming up, mate, and catch you next time.
Cheers, guys. Thanks heaps.
Thanks, Gav. I think we got joined as well by Josh, so Josh Burton, he might be doing some commentary with us for the remainder of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give it a first shot and see how it goes.
Fantastic. I can go and have a coffee break in a minute. We've also got Brad Matheson, Brent Tucker, Mitch McLeod and Warren Pickering waiting to come up to the commentary booth, guys.
A few guys there. Whoever you want, Bernie. You decide, mate. It's your show.
I think we might bring Brent up. He's been waiting a while. I think he's in the Blackadder BMW Z4. No, he's not. He's in the other one, isn't he? We'll bring him up.
Yes, in the All-Star Motorsports.
That's right. We were talking about him earlier tonight. So we'll bring Brent up and see how they're tracking. Hi Brent, welcome to RRTV's commentary box. How's your race been going tonight, mate?
Hey guys, yeah, for a change we're actually going really good. We started 28th and managed to make it through that crazy first lap. When I put it in, we were 14th, so we're 22nd at the moment on track, which is really good for us, and Chris is just holding his own there, so yeah, really happy this week.
Brian, you guys been playing around with setups a fair bit this week. Are you finding race setup over the distance a bit of a struggle, or is it something that you really concentrated on and more of a race distance setup rather than a quick flyer quali set?
That was it. I mean, we were only at 1.2 seconds off the pace was our fastest time this week's, but yeah, I was always looking at more, the race pace, the race length, that kind of deal. So yeah, it's getting really, really good. I just want to say thanks to Tim Bellinger. He's been helping us big time with setups. So yeah, he's sent us 3 or 4 of them, and from that, Chris and I have refined them to our liking.
It's good, mate. So that's with NCR Racing, I believe.
Yeah, that's it. We've kind of formed a quote-unquote alliance, if you prefer to call it that. So yeah, just helping each other out with the teams and the setups and stuff. And yeah, it's proven really, really beneficial for especially us guys at All Star Motorsports.
And looking into the future, mate, where's All Star heading? Have we got any big news that you can tell, or any inside information on the future of the team?
Apart from that, we're looking to expand for the AEC to run 2 cars, and a little bit behind the scenes, which hopefully I can announce in a couple of weeks' time. So yeah, bring on the future, I say. I mean, we're only going up from where we are now, so hopefully people are starting to take notice of us, and we're starting to prove ourselves that we can mix it with the big boys in mid-pack and up front.
Yeah, that's good, mate. I mean, sitting 22nd at the moment, started 28th, and you've made your way up to 14th. There's still a long way to go in this race. Where are you finding the hardest part to get on top of the track?
It's probably coming on to the main straight. Main straight and going on to the back straight, probably the 2 most important places. The way I've been driving, I've been losing a little bit of time here and there, but I make it up through the corners on the other guys in front. So yeah, I had a little spin first race, just glanced the wall. So for the first 3/4 of the race, after that, I had 3/4 of an hour. Sorry, I had to drive with left hand fairly down, which was starting to really surprisingly hurt the left hand side of me.
And so coming into those corners, mate, are you looking at you getting a lot of push in the front end?
Yeah, it's just running a little wide there as a car happens to spin off in the live feed there. But yeah, it's just getting a little bit pushy. I drop it down to 2nd gear just to make sure I got the drive coming out of there and the nose tucked in. So yeah, it's getting there. Another spot that I tend to lose time are the 2 corners after the hairpin. They're just a really tricky and awkward couple corners for me.
Well, it's good to see you out there, mate, and obviously All Star Motorsports, fairly kind of youngish team, but on the up and coming, and putting yourselves out. The more practice, the more laps you do, obviously the quicker you're going to get. It's good to see that you've teamed up as well with NCR, and a bit of a technical alliance thing there, and sharing setups and fuel information, that type of thing. So what's kind of the plan for the rest of the race for you guys?
I haven't really spoken to Chris since I jumped out of the car, just because I was absolutely knackered after it, but pretty much just keep doing what we're doing, just trucking along and keep the car in as good a position and as clean as possible. So and as you said, having that technical alliance effectively with the guys from NCR has, like I said, really, really helped us at All Star Motorsports with setups and stuff, and hopefully a little bit more news on that front to come in a couple of weeks' time.
So guys, at the moment we've got Matty Hill still leading in the McLaren, the TTL McLaren. Gap to Gary Hamilton. To Christopher Osborne now is roughly 3-second gap.
Yeah, I know.
So Christopher's really closing the gap down now. So Matty Hill under a little bit of pressure, but there's one thing catching somebody, but getting past is another.
Yeah, I noticed half a lap ago Scott Matty Hill went a bit wide as he was trying to overtake a lapped car going into turn 2, but he managed to recover it, so it was a bit of a close call for Team TTL. So we're just...
And as you... Sorry, Bernie. And as you said, Scott, passing someone here is really, really difficult. There's only 2 or 3 good spots where you can get it done safely, so qualifying on this track really is important on that behalf.
Yeah, no, qualifying is one thing, overall race pace is also another. So, we've seen a few guys had really good quality results, but unfortunately the race pace has probably gotten to them a little bit, and they've not been able to hold their position throughout the race. And we've seen guys that were kind of mid to lower packet in terms of quality, but they've actually progressed through throughout the race with some really good race pace. So that's it's good that you can do a fast lap, but if you can't do fast laps during the race, it's going to kind of push you back a bit.
Saying that, guys, Christopher Osborne can definitely see Matthew Hill now. He's just 2.2 seconds up the road, so he's definitely starting to push now to get through that traffic that just separates these two guys. So I think with 28 minutes to go, it's going to be a close one, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. Christopher Osborne just took 8/10 out of him that last lap, so he'll be on him in no time at all, and we'll have a good battle for the lead.
And we do have a car stuck in between them, which I believe is Gary Hamilton, the 3C's craft beer. So he's down in 9th position at the moment, but just wondering if that was a bit of a hold up for Matthew Hill there.
Also got a few other drivers in waiting for interview, guys, so I don't know how many more we can cram in. Do you think we should bring them up before this race heats up too much?
Yeah, I think probably best get them up now, Bernie.
Alright.
Yeah, well, feel free to move me out, guys. I just want to thank All Star Motorsports and guys at NCR. So yeah, good luck to everyone else out on the track.
You guys have done a really good job tonight, Brent, in your All Star Motorsports BMW. So good effort all round, I think.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit hairy on track with Chris and Luke Beck. He just tagged him in the hairpin there before. Tagged him twice already, so it'll be interesting to see what happens on that front for the remainder half an hour of the race. Yeah,
I noticed those two were getting a bit close together, but one thing I can say is your co-driver definitely recovered the BMW quite well when he did get tagged, that's for sure. I thought they were both going to go around there for a moment.
Yeah, I had my heart in my mouth there for sure, Bernie. But yeah, hats off to Chris. I mean, he's done an absolutely tremendous job as my co-driver this season. So I just want to thank him a lot. It means a lot that he's stuck with me for the past couple of seasons and stuck with the team. So hopefully he can bring it home in 22nd and get a half decent result for the season.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. So thanks for coming up, and feel free if you guys want to drop in next week if you're running. Pop in and say good day.
For sure, we'll be running and I'll be back up here again. I enjoy it up here. So anyway, guys, I'll catch you later.
All right, see you, mate. Hey Warren, Bernie here from RRTV. Welcome to the commentary box. How's your race been going tonight?
Good to be here, mate. Up and down like every week. Pretty good. We've got some consistency.
So you blokes are running, 11th at the moment. I noticed, I think it was Mr. Manley was in the car, wasn't he, at that time? No, who? Was it you in the car that bent all the front end?
Yeah, that was me. I had a rookie error, got on the throttle too early and looped it into the wall. It wasn't too hard. It was just, the steering was fine, just a bit slow in a straight line, but managed to be consistent after that, which wasn't too bad.
Yeah, I noticed you're up there.
That was a way to make your teammate feel good, Bernie.
Yeah, you know us. In Redback Racing, we're a friendly bunch. We like to stick it into each other when we can.
Yeah, behind the scenes. No, then I had some really bizarre errors. I kept getting random slowdowns, just like in the middle of nowhere, without even going off track or anything. So that was really frustrating. It took ages to clear them as well. So that was strange.
Were you having connection issues at the time? Because I've noticed whenever I've got poor connection, I tend to get a lot of those.
Yeah, well, I wasn't, but interestingly, Michael was. He's got a thunderstorm coming over his place, and at the time there was, he was having some connection issues, but yeah, resulted in my off-tracks, my slowdowns, unfortunately.
Yeah, because you definitely weren't flickering at this end on the broadcast, so how are you finding the rough tonight?
Sorry to interrupt. There was a massive moment regarding Aaron just spun in front of the leaders as he was trying to actually get out of their way. He's dropped the right rear onto the dirt and almost came together with the second place. Who have we got in second? Sorry, Christopher Osborne.
Yeah, absolutely. I was riding on board with Christopher Osborne when that happened, and I thought he was going for sure, but somehow you got through it.
Oh, that's uncharacteristic of Aaron. Yeah.
No, he's gone to get out of their way and let him through, but he's just dropped the right rear onto the dirt and it's just looped him. It was unfortunate, and he was just trying to do the right thing, but unfortunately the gravel bit and it spun him round.
Yeah, it'll do that. These guys have a cracking battle up the front, aren't they?
Yeah, it's just starting to heat up actually. Not even a second gap, 0.8 of a gap between first and second with 21 minutes on the clock remaining. So it'll be interesting to see if Matty Hill's going to be able to hold out until the finish, or potentially we go down to the last round of the series to crown the winner.
Well, that's right. We were finding the rough had it was quite slippery actually, with the race pace was slower than we were expecting, and the draft was having greater effect than we thought down the back. Yeah, there was quite a draft effect, which is good and bad.
Yeah, we've heard from a lot of the drivers that grip has been a struggle, especially a lot of exit push, and on the slow corners just general understeer. Is that what you guys have been finding, Warren?
Yeah, exactly, and it was frustrating because the only way you can get rid of the push in the slow corners is by kind of dumping it down a gear and getting sideways a bit, but that just ate up the rear, so it was really catch-22 out of it.
Yeah, we had an onboard shot before, and of around the track, and we were noticing how much time was actually spent off in the corners, off no accelerator at all. It was quite surprising. So obviously a bit of a very technical track, and trying to get balance within the car is proving to be pretty difficult.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's that sort of track. There's a few really nice corners that are got a great camber, but then some are really off camber, and it makes braking and turning really difficult. So it's hard to set up for you.
I think we're going to have a battle for the lead and a potential overtake. Yep. Oh no, pulls out of it into corner one, but he's got so much mid-corner speed. So Christopher Osborne looks like he brakes a lot earlier, but carries then mid-corner and exit speed, and able to get onto the gas a lot sooner than Matty Hill.
Sorry guys, I was getting carried away with the cameras here with this close racing between these two. So the battle's definitely on now, that's for sure, with 20 minutes to go. I think I'd be picking Christopher at this stage, but that's my bet. What's yours, Scott?
I don't know if I don't do bets, mate, but
come on.
Look, I'm just keen for a good battle myself. I love to watch a good battle, and you're talking at two A-class drivers here that are going to battle to the finish, and is it in Matt's best interest to maybe let Chris go and get some tyres freshened up a little bit and not be pushing so hard, and then have a go back at Chris at the end of the race. Who knows? It's hard because we don't know what kind of condition the cars are in and that type of thing. So
yeah, it's one thing to catch that McLaren, another to get past.
Yeah, apparently it's not the easiest track to get past. Like, there's a few, you look at the start-finish straight, the back straight, the hairpin, things like that of getting past, but other than that, you're probably looking about maybe 3 to 4 spots of potentials depending on how you've got your car set up as well.
Yeah, that's right. The overtakes rely on you to be really gutsy. Like, for instance, the last corner, you've got to get on it very early to make that first overtake stick, and that's quite challenging as well. You end up just pushing wide if you get it wrong.
These two are pretty smart drivers too, so I think they'll. I reckon Chris will just sit back and wait for Matt to make a half mistake or wait and push for the last 5 minutes.
So she's putting some pressure on him though. It was right up his backside then into the hairpin. So that's the kind of pressure that you're talking about though, Jay, with putting on to Matt and maybe trying to force the mistake into Matt rather than necessarily go for the overtake itself.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to push the move too quick. He just needs to be there with the last 5 minutes to go, and it's still a long way to go in this race, 15 odd minutes. So I think it'll be more likely that there'll be a slight mistake more than anything else that'll actually make this move happen.
Yeah, I know going into that last corner, they're both using up a lot of road, and Christopher's having a look on the inside. As we ride, looking out the back of Dylan Sharman's car, Christopher's getting so close you can read the dough he's got in fine print on his front bumper bar there.
The Simpsons dolt, is that what you're talking about there, Bernie?
Yeah, he's got it in really small print on the front bumper bar of his direct clutch motorsports rough. So every time he comes in close, and you can read it very clearly from this camera view.
That all links back to Hompy O'Hanson, I'm pretty sure, who's a member of the team, and he runs a very, very awesome Simpsons livery in pretty much all of his cars, so pretty sure that where that all stems from. I better pledge my allegiance. I'm actually not joking, I'm actually wearing a Direct Clutch Services t-shirt, so I probably should say I'll probably better be rooting for those boys.
Yeah, you better if you're wearing their shirt, mate.
Sponsor plug.
A bit of lap traffic's going to come into play here.
So Warren,
and it all depends on where you catch them too, doesn't it? And where these guys that might be lapped, but they've got their own battles to contend with as well. As we see one of them pull wide and let a car go through, but not the leaders. That was interesting.
Yeah, he zigged then when he should have zagged, I think, but he's out of their way now. That was a close call for Matty Hill there.
Yeah, like I was saying, these guys, they've got their own battles and that to contend with on track. So, they don't want to be giving up too much, of the racetrack and ruin their own laps, but have also got to do the right thing and let these guys go through cleanly and try and not interrupt the race to the lead, as we see Christopher Osborne take a move on the inside onto Matthew Hill.
Yeah, that was a good move. I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to pull that off because he had the DeWalt BMW ahead of him on the right there, but he managed to thread the needle quite nicely.
Yeah, I think Christopher got the better draft from that BMW, and I think Matt might not have known exactly where Christopher was, so kind of left a bit of a gap there, and Christopher just took advantage of that.
Yeah, now they're coming up to the All-Star Motorsports BMW, so we'll see how Christopher goes handling lap traffic now that he's out in front.
Oh, deep under brakes there, almost had the rear step out. definitely had the rears locked up, but he held that into the corner quite well.
Alright, gents, I'll leave you there. I'll go back and join my co-driver.
Well, thanks for coming up, Warren. Sorry we didn't spend more time having a chat, but it's sort of going off up here at the moment.
No, it's all happening. I'm enjoying the battle myself. See you guys.
Alright, bye.
I've also got to head off, boys, so thank you for having me in for the last little bit. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'll be on track next week.
Yeah, thanks for coming up, Jay, and all the best for next week. Are you running the McLaren?
Yeah, we'll have the 2 cars running next week. Myself and Mitchell will race the 40 car, and Hayden and Matt will run the 41.
Okay, well, we'll look forward to hopefully having a chat with you next week.
Yeah, well, my stint won't take very long, so I'll come in for a chat after it.
Yeah, no worries, bud.
I'll be in the fence, don't worry.
No, you won't.
No, I will. I'm a realist. Thanks, boys.
Okay, see you,
Cheers,
mate.
Jay. See you, bud.
And while we were talking to Jay there, it looks like Matty Hill's got position 1 back again on Chris Osborne.
Yeah, that was quite tight, but maybe a bit more of a showing of, hey mate, you're not just going to get past me that easy. I'm going to fight you to the end for this. So he stuck it down the inside. It was a clean move. Christopher did give him a bit of room, and then ran a little bit wide. But it'd be interesting to see now whether or not Christopher's got the pace, or if Matt can just try and gap a little bit over Christopher.
Yeah, I've noticed on Christopher's car he's got a little bit of front end damage. I think it's more cosmetic than anything, but it definitely doesn't appear to be affecting his race pace, that's for sure.
We've got roughly 10 minutes. Did we want to see if Mitchell McLeod might be free? He's ready for an interview, but just before this heats up with last few minutes to go.
Yeah, I'll bring Mitch up if you want to have a chat with him.
Yeah, no worries.
If anything exciting happens, I'll jump in, okay?
Yeah, mate, no worries. Mitch, you got us? Yeah, he might be busy helping out, so we might just leave it for now and see if he comes free later on.
Yeah, no worries. He's probably watching this battle up front, I'd say.
Oh, and it's on. And what are we talking about here for that time? So roughly a minute kind of 30, Christopher Osborne's doing, Matthew Hill's doing. This is going to be a pretty good battle all the way to the end here. So I think we might just have to be watching this one.
Yeah, we'll stay tuned on this, folks. And it looks like the next person Matty Hill's going to come up to will be Reese Gardner in the short shift BMW. So I know Reese is a great driver, and he'll be keeping a close eye on that review mirror. I tell you what, these two...
The guys have got a relative, so I'm sure Reese will have that set up, and if not, his co-driver will be telling him about the gaps, and I'm sure won't be getting in these guys' way. But geez, I mean, Reese is up in 6th position. That's a fantastic result for him, and Matthew Barron again. So really good results coming through later on in the season for them.
Tell you what, these blokes are using every inch of the track plus more. I'm assuming they don't have a incident point limit that they can exceed by the way they're throwing up all that dirt.
Maybe not. I think I'm not sure if there's even a points deduction or not with how many incidents they have after the round, but I don't think there's a cap on where you get booted out of the race, or do not finish, I should say. So I mean, these guys are going to use the track and some, like you said, Bernie, and whatever it takes really to get the win.
Yeah, it's good to see. You know, incident caps have their place, but I always like to see hard racing, which these two guys are really showing us tonight. In fact, they show us just about every week it's these two, isn't it, battling it out?
Well, that's right. I mean, they're the class of the field, and they've got a good combination of drivers, a good understanding of how the car needs to be set up, and each week we see them, you know, drive kind of away from the rest of the pack and have their battle, but it definitely doesn't make for unexciting racing, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I tell you what, considering these blokes have done the Suzuka last night, they're not showing any sign of fatigue, that's for sure.
That was just the warm-up, Bernie.
The entree, you reckon?
Yeah, that's right, mate. The good old loosen up of the muscles and everything for the Okayama International.
And that's the way it should be too.
Christopher Osborne now really showing the nose in a lot of spots, going for a bit of an under-over here, but Matty Hill's a little bit awake to that move and blocks that one off, and now is just pulling a bit of a defensive line down the inside of the back straight. Christopher Osborne goes to go down the inside, laid under brakes.
Yeah, they both went pretty deep under there. I tell you what, Matty's
Both
making...
drivers showing... Oh, under over. There we go. Classic manoeuvre. Probably lined that one up about 2 corners before, really. But Matthew Hill coming back now. Got a good run out of that last corner. And back under the inside. So now Matty might be awake to that move that Christopher's put on. So did Christopher show it a little bit early? Maybe a bit too early.
Yeah, maybe, but one thing, Matty's making Christopher go the long way around, that's for sure. We've got just over 7 minutes left in this race, so as Christopher's having a look down the inside now, deep under brakes, he makes that move stick, but let's see if Matthew's coming back on the outside. Oh man, these guys are just going at it, it's unbelievable.
Side by side, I think there was a bit of contact there maybe, or a little bit loose from Christopher. As Matty Hill takes the lead again.
Yeah, it looked like Christopher just got a little bit loose there. I don't think there was much contact. I'd go to a replay, but I don't want to leave this this battle behind.
Stay on this. Stay on this. You really get to see the weaknesses and the strengths of each different car at the moment on track, and you know, Matty Hills is showing good corner exit. I think Christopher's a little bit loose in the rear. I think his rear tyres may be having an effect there, but his braking is just phenomenal. The braking power at the moment.
Oh yeah, he's definitely making that rough go so deep under brakes. I think that's one of the weaknesses with the McLaren is the braking. So, but it's great to see, you know, these two cars and great drivers going at it lap after lap. It's fantastic to watch.
Mate, this is as good as watching Bathurst, I reckon.
I wouldn't go that far, mate, but
I was coming down to the wire, mate, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Been some fairly close moments there between these two front runners where I thought they're going to make contact there, but it's been pretty clean, and hopefully it stays that way.
So, Josh, we know Scott's not a betting man. Are you a betting man?
Oh, mate, I'll put money on something if I want to.
There's no money involved.
Who's your money on?
You just got to tell me who you think's going to win this.
Oh, I reckon Christopher Osborne might get up with the win. He's shown a pretty good over and under move there a lap ago, so if he can do that again in the last lap, I think he'll be hard to beat.
And do you remember who I was going for? I've forgotten.
You said Christopher, mate.
Christopher, alright, so we've got 2 for Christopher.
So you two are going for Christopher. Does that mean I've got to go for Matty Hill?
Oh,
I'll go for Matty Hill. I'll take one on the chin. I'll go for Matty.
Okay.
I'll put my money on Matty. If he doesn't win, it was a forced. It was a forced bet.
With 4 minutes 40 to go, we're going to know the answer in the next probably 2 to 3 laps, I reckon. Probably 3.
Yeah, I reckon there's probably about 3 laps to go. So this one and probably another 2, and we should probably see the checker flag come out.
Looking further down the field, we won't go from this battle, but we've got Braith Morrow now running in 3rd, followed by George Fullerton in 4th. So do we know if Team TTL was running the Suzuka last night?
Yeah, they were. They came fifth spot. Was the final results for TTL.
Okay. And
so they ran the McLaren last night. The direct clutch motorsports run the rough, and I think it was either 13th or 16th they ended up finishing. That seems to ring a bell for me for some reason. And the custom image motorsports BMW, I think came in around the 40, maybe 46th position. That's kind of ringing a bell. So good work from the Aussies. It's pretty tough out there. It's pretty cutthroat. Some of the guys just don't give an inch at all, especially even at the start. So for the amount of kilometres that they do in each race, it's on from the start and it's on all the way through.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some serious tough competition in there. A couple of pro drivers there up the front racing for Team Redline, which is Gregor Hutu's team.
So we got left on the clock now, a minute to go. So is this the last lap or we got one more?
We've got one more after this. On my clock we've got 2 minutes 45 left. It's probably a delay, I don't know.
Oh, it would be too.
So I think they should be coming up to the last lap next time by at this stage.
Yeah, so just down the back straight at the moment, coming up to the hairpin. And we've got Christopher Osborne sitting right behind Matthew Hill. I think Matthew Hill's a little bit away as goes to put a move down the inside, and that was very close because Christopher Osborne doesn't want to give him a touch and turn Matthew around. Wants to make sure it's a clean race to the end. Just different strengths and weaknesses for each driver and each car that's set up so differently.
Yeah, absolutely. The McLaren of Matty Hill, it's struggling a bit through that slow speed stuff where the rough is it's a lot faster, but you can't do anything about it as he goes off track.
Christopher Osborne way off track there.
Big moment there.
Pushing hard. Must be the final lap now.
We're down to 1 minute 20 and it's still green, so looks like we might get another lap.
Okay, so still this and one more.
Looks like Matty's managed to pull out a bit of a gap there after Christopher went off the track there. I reckon Christopher was pretty lucky to hold onto his car, to be quite honest, through that.
Yeah, he would have had to have got off the gas because that would have just put him in the wall otherwise. So now he's got to make up that small gap, which what are we looking at? Just over half a second gap. But he's got to make it up, and then he's got to obviously try and make the pass and make the pass clean.
Yeah, and he's got to do all that with about 1 lap to go.
All Matty Hill's probably really got to do now is keep the car straight. Remember probably the points of the track where Christopher Osborne was trying to make those passes and, keep him behind.
Okay, we should be coming up to the last lap now with only 7 seconds left on the clock. Yep, last lap now, guys.
So it's going to be on for young and old, really. We'll see if these guys get completely sideways or not, or if they keep it straight.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Christopher can capitalise through this corner. If he can get a toe, maybe it'll be on up at the hairpin up here.
Oh, it's going to be on. It is on for young and old at the moment. This thing is going off.
Well, I'm glad I got my coffee.
Like Mark Scaife does, mate.
Don't know what you're talking about. We come down to the hairpin for the final time, and Matty Hill in the lead. A little gap there. I'd say he's got that pass manoeuvre a little bit. Yeah, he's got that covered. So now he's just probably got to keep it straight. I think this is where, from out of this corner, Matty Hill's got a good strength. Gets out of this corner well. I think by the looks of it, he might have it covered.
Yeah,
don't really know where Christopher Hill's going to get him from here in.
Yeah, I think Matty's going to have this by the looks of it.
Maybe it should be a betting man, eh? Oh, is he going to get a run?
Little contact going to the last corner there.
No, he got a bit wide.
Yeah,
that's a fantastic result. Matty Hill, Dylan Sharman, P1, back-to-back. Christopher Osborne and Brad Wooten coming in at in second place.
Yeah, it was definitely a bit of contact there, but great racing between those two. That was just unbelievable. So we're on now with Braith Morrow at the moment, who's coming in with a well-deserved third at the moment in his Blackadder BMW Z4. These guys have had a fantastic race.
Oh, it's an awesome result for these guys. You know, it started out in 6th position, come up into 3rd, had a great battle throughout the whole race, and have really just showed consistent lap times. Bring it home 3rd. They will be absolutely stoked to be up on the podium. I think we've got George Fullerton as well up into 4th, so he was battling pretty hard with the Blackadder guys, and good to have them up into 4th position, shy of the podium.
Yeah, they started 9th in that SEK Queensland BMW, so that was a great drive to come up in 4th position. So yeah, they'd have to be wrapped with that.
And Stewie Hall there in the Net Virtue Racing BMW coming in for 5th position, right behind George.
Okay, folks, we'll let's take you through the final results. As we saw from that, Matty Hill, Dylan Sharman took out that win for Team TTL, followed closely, very closely, by Christopher Osborne, Brad Wooten. 3rd, Braith Morrow and Lewis Kugeley. George Fullerton, Guy Leach 4th. 5th was Sam Hall, Paul Keegan, I'm assuming. 6th, Gary Hamilton and Mr. McKeown, 1 lap down in the BMW Z4. 7th, a well-deserved finish for Reese Gardner and Matty Barron there in their short shift BMW. 8th was Mr. Garitas and Gavin Saddler in their DeWalt BMW, and 10th was, running at our top 10, was Aaron Lee and Warren Pickering in their Redback Racing Rough.
Just shows how competitive the field is. There's only 5 cars on the lead lap, so it's extremely good effort from everyone involved to stay on the lead lap.
Definitely, and it looks like we have waiting to come up for an interview, Sir Dylan Sharman and Mr. Hill. So I reckon we should bring these two up. What do you reckon, guys?
Oh, I think so too. Yeah.
And I'm just going to stand back and let you guys take this. Here we go.
Oh wow.
Welcome to the commentary box, Mr. Matthew Hill and Dylan Sharman. Congratulations on a fantastic win. What were you thinking with that last couple of laps to go, Matthew?
Well, I wasn't really thinking at all. I was just trying to drive. This McLaren had some horrible understeer, and oh man, I'm absolutely over the moon with that. That's fantastic. Dylan drove an awesome first stint, gave me a bit of breathing room so I could hopefully nurse the tyres, and man, I'm shaking. That's awesome. Was awesome racing. So much fun.
Matty and Dylan, yeah, congratulations on the first place. Mate, guys, absolutely fantastic race from the beginning. You guys went out. Dylan, I think you set the scene and got the gap, which Matty was saying, gave him a bit of breathing space, but Christopher, as we know, not a slow driver, and was able to close the gap on you guys. But watching the last 10 to 15 minutes was just an absolutely phenomenal race to watch, and very well deserved win. So hats off to you guys.
Yeah, thanks, man. I think our car was just poor enough to keep him behind. Unfortunately, it just slowed him down through the middle of the turn, but over the moon.
So you blokes raced last night in Suzuka. How did you find backing that up with tonight's race?
Yeah, look, it was pretty tough. I've only had 3 hours sleep since 7 a.m. yesterday morning. So yeah, I was pretty buggered by the end of tonight's stint. I was seeing double of most things. But yeah, it was a crazy race. I guess it gave us a good idea of what to expect next week in the 4 hour. So we've already got a good baseline set, so we don't have to do too many laps at Suzuka next week. But yeah, it was a long night, I guess you could say, for last night. But yeah, we drove amazing this morning and got a good top 5 result as well.
Hey guys, we've heard throughout the race of the track at Okayama not being all that grippy. Have you guys suffered from understeering the slow or the fast corner sections?
I think it's just understeer central with the McLaren. No matter what you do, like especially here at Okayama where it's a lot of stop-start sort of stuff. It's not sort of a real flowing sort of track like Suzuka or Bathurst, where we could flow the car a lot more and sort of get rid of some of that understeer. It was pretty tough here through the slow stuff. So yeah, we couldn't really tune it out too much without making the rear too oversteery then spinning out on throttle. So we just tried to, I guess, sacrifice and find the middle ground as best as we could.
And we saw from the beginning of the race a bit of a difference in strategy of who drove first. So, Dylan, you driving first and seeing Brad line up against you, was that something that was a bit of a shock, or you were expecting Christopher to line up at the start?
I sort of figured that Watnon or Brad would start the race. So I was sort of waiting to the end to see sort of who would start, because our plan always was for me to go out and try and build the biggest gap as possible and push the car to its limits and beyond to try and at least get a gap, so then Hilly could come in and just try and nurse the tyres and save them for the end of the race. So that was the plan, and I guess for us it worked out pretty well. But Brad still had good speed, and I think he got held up in a bit of traffic there, which sort of helped me out a bit and gave me a bit of a lead. So.
And moving forward, so we got Suzuka as the next round, I believe, and we've got 4 hours there off of memory. Obviously, you guys having done the 1000k enduro last night with Masters of Endurance, different way of approaching a 4 hour event in terms of strategy and that, do you think?
Yeah, well, I guess for us, it takes a bit of pressure off ourselves now. Because of the way that the point situation is, we can go into next race and obviously we want to win, but as long as we don't get too many X's, we shouldn't be too bad championship-wise. But, we'll have a sit-down, I guess, come Sunday and sort of figure out a plan for ourselves and sort of what we want to do and who wants to drive the different parts of the race. So, otherwise, yeah, I think we'll just do 2 stints each, half the race each, and we'll just figure out a way that we can sort of maximise our speed.
Yeah, typically I think what we do most Sunday nights is figure it out when we're about to grid up. We don't really put too much emphasis on who's going first. It's just a matter of both of us trying as hard as we can to keep the car nice and straight.
Yeah, I think it's more of a
flip a coin effort, eh?
Yeah, it's a bit more of a, do you want to start? No, okay, well, I'll start the car then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, pretty much.
Alright guys, before we let you go, is there anyone you'd like to thank or give a quick shout out to?
I guess I'll give a quick shout out to, you guys for doing the broadcast, RRTV. It's great to see that this series is getting broadcasted, and it's it's starting to grow more and more. So that's fantastic, and also a shout out to our fake sponsor, Cask. Great supporters.
And they've always been there for us.
Silver pillows.
Yeah, that's them.
I think you guys might be needing one of those tonight, eh?
Yeah, I don't think I'll be sleeping anytime soon, even though I've had barely any.
Yeah, I think all my Red Bull's worn off, so I'll be snoozing tonight pretty well.
Yeah, I can hear the yawn in your voice, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired.
Well, once again, guys, congratulations on a great race. Well-deserved winners. Awesome last stint there, and the final stages of the race. So we look forward to you guys coming on board at Suzuka for next week, and we'll wish you good luck for there, and we'll see you then.
No worries, guys. Yeah, we'll catch you at Suzuka in a week's time.
Yeah, thanks guys, you're doing an excellent job. Thank you.
Okay, so that was Matthew Hill and Dylan Charman who took out tonight's race. We've now got Braith Morrow and Lewis Kugeley who came in third, so we'll bring them up for a quick chat. Hi Braith and Lewis, welcome to the commentary box, and congratulations on your third place tonight. You must be wrapped with that, mate.
Yeah, pretty happy with that. Thanks, Bernie. I think we had a few fortunate things go our way during the course of the race, and Lewis put in a very, very strong first stint, dicing with a couple of cars, but held his nerve in some very tricky situations, and then was able to capitalise on that. And then we were the fortunate recipients of an incident ahead that kind of gifted us third place. So we were surprised that. And then I just really had to bring it home straight, which I was able to do.
Yeah, we had a good showing. It was pretty scary the first couple of laps, including the standing start, but we chipped away. We ended up 6 before the pit stop, and then a few guys ahead had some incidents, and Brave drove a really good controlling stint in the last hour, and yeah, our first podium in SEK, so we're pretty happy.
Yeah, the opening, I would probably say 10, maybe 12 laps that we were witness to was pretty chaotic out there in terms of overtaking moves, re-overtaking, that type of thing. Did you guys find through the race that your setup became more drivable in terms of the ability to manoeuvre to overtake cars in different areas better?
Well, our approach at the start was I just wanted to keep it clean. We've had a few ups and downs the last couple of weeks, so I was a bit too conservative. Some guys made some pretty crazy moves, but we all managed to get out of that all right. And then once we got into the rhythm, I started to have good pace over the stint. Tyre wear probably after about the 45-minute mark started to become an issue, but I was just sitting back and just trying to bring it home and hand it off to Brace, who did a good job in the end.
Yeah, I guess the thing with the setup is we'd spent a little bit of time working on it. We actually knew that we had a fairly decent setup. We actually thought as the race went on, other cars would start to suffer and they'd fall away, and it'd certainly play into our hands. So we were looking forward. We were actually going to run Lewis longer than he actually ran, but there was the opportunity, and he was going to come in. So we knew that if we pitted him about that time, I could get out and put some solid laps in. We came out, and we just didn't expect to inherit third at all. So it was quite surprising.
And so looking forward, we've got the Suzuka 4-hour next week. You guys looking at what you're going to be able to do strategy-wise for that race?
Sorry, go, mate.
I'll let you know.
Well, I guess that day's a really big day for us. For Blackadder Motorsport, we actually are starting off with 4 hours at VLN, which is also at Suzuka that morning. So Lewis and myself will be up at about 4 a.m. for that one. That'll give us a really good lead up and some ideas on strategy. And then we'll hit the SEK that night for another 4 hours. So we'll be done and dusted by the time that day's over, that's for sure.
Yeah, it'll definitely be a long day for you blokes, and that's what Matthew Hill and Dylan Sharman were feeling tonight after their run at Suzuka last night. So, but you know, you got to get the racing in while you can, I reckon.
Absolutely, Bernie. Absolutely.
So really, your 4 a.m. one is just your test session for the SEK later that night.
That's the way I'll be looking at it. I'm not sure what Lewis's view on that is, but probably similar.
Yeah, I just want to get those 4 hours done, do a bit in terms of strategy and understanding the car more there, and then Seek's our main focus with the last round, and we're looking for another strong finish to conclude our first championship in the series.
And so, guys, with that in mind, obviously the last round coming up next weekend, but next season or next year, where's Blackadder heading?
I'm pretty sure that we're looking at trying to get 2 cars into SEK. We've got 2, possibly 3 entries looking at for the Australian Endurance Championships. So we're actually really thrilled that the organisers of both those series, so yourself, Scott, and also Gav, have been able to work together and have those series so that they're not overlapping, so that we don't have to give one up. For us, hopefully it's a really complementary experience being able to run the same category, and we'll just really build on this year, which has been our first year in GT3. So yeah, hopefully a second car, and hopefully doing both series.
Yeah, it's just this series we came into it as a learning experience. I had no prior experience in a GT3 car. I think we're progressing well, and hopefully with a second car we can bounce off ideas between each other, but it's been really good so far, so we'll hope to continue throughout 2015 and however long the series goes for, I guess.
Yeah, I think adding that extra car to a team is going to give you, you're looking at double the information for feedback, setups, and that type of thing. So that can only help you guys moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. We have got a strong driver pool as well to draw on for the longer races. John King, who was fortunate enough to get a drive with the Drifting Derelicts, two races this season, I'd imagine he would be looking to drive the second car. So it's really just making sure we can get a pairing from him. And look, I've got to give a shout out to John as well, because he drops in week to week and really helps us out with strategy and just feeding us information throughout the race. So he does a fantastic job, and we'll be really thrilled to have him in the car in the race as well, hopefully next season.
Yeah, well, he keeps me calm for sure. The first 12 or 13 laps today, he kept me under control, and yeah, he's a real good help for us in terms of strategy. Keeps us calm. He's a very good driver too. So hopefully with him in the car with another driver next season, we can be stronger.
And so you guys mentioned about obviously being in the GT3. Do you guys regularly run other series throughout iRacing, or is it mainly just the GT3 stuff at the moment?
Myself, I've done a fair bit of IndyCar. Prior to that, just a bit of GTC with the Solstice. But we've also done we did the Spa 24 Hours with RaceSpot TV. We had 2 cars in that. We're actually third in class in the roof C-spec, and I went in to hand over to Lewis, and we got the dreaded drop from the sky bug. So we hope that we'll be able to continue a program in multiple cars, and certainly the team, Blackadder Motorsports, really has a lot of focus on the C-spec and also some other areas.
Yeah, I usually run Global Challenge and touring. I haven't done much league stuff. Lately, this is the first league event that I've done, and I'm really enjoying it because it's good to week in, week out race against the same guys, know where you are in the pecking order, and there's always someone ahead of you to obviously chase down. So we're having a good time here, and hopefully I'm going to step into the GT3 cars more, even on the official sides, just to get more experience in the car. So it's all looking good so far.
Yeah, fantastic, guys. We're going to have to wrap this up shortly, but before you go, is there anyone you'd want to thank or give a shout out to?
Yeah, probably have to give a big shout out to Patrick Runald, who's I guess the guy who's spent the most time in GT3s within our team. He's helped provide us a strong baseline. He's actually on holidays on his honeymoon, but he gave us a very strong baseline that we've been able to build on, and it's really worked for us last week at Coda. This week at Okayama, and hopefully next week it also does similar wonders at Suzuka. So big shout out to him, big shout out to the team, and hopefully we can do you proud again.
And obviously you guys have done a really good job covering the series, and we hope you continues.
Yeah, I plan to be covering it again next season, and we'll see how it goes from there. But anyway, thanks guys for coming up to the commentary box for a chat, and well done on your third position, and best of luck for next weekend for your 2x4 hour stints.
Thanks Bernie, thanks Scott, appreciate it.
Cheers.
Okay Scott, well we've seen another fantastic race tonight, and looks like your pick survived. So
my pick did survive. I might have to hit Matty Hill up about that, and I don't know, tell him to send me a carton of beer or something. It's got to have something for a win, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure I was going for him all along, you know.
Okay, it's like that, is it? Right. Do you know what, mate? I think the true winners of this is the event, and the drivers and the spectators. Just a phenomenal round. Great racing throughout the whole field of cars throughout different times of the race, and once again the IRF I Race for Fun boys have really pulled off a good job. The track distance, the race time, I think really made this event. So well done to them, and well done to the podium place getters, and looking forward to next week.
Yeah, definitely, and. You know, it's another one of those really close races which we've seen in this series week after week. So I'm expecting next week's Suzuka 4 Hour is going to be very exciting, especially to see who takes out this championship. Another thing I'd like to mention, guys, before we wrap this up, RRTV will be broadcasting tomorrow night at 9:15 p.m. We're doing a test broadcast of the Australian Strength of Field Skip Barber race at Zandvoort. So I think it's Zandvoort. So if you've got nothing else to do, definitely tune in for that. The reason we're doing that is RRTV is looking at bringing the Skip Barber racing to you next season, as well as the SEK Queensland GT3 Endurance Series. So on behalf of Bernie Wiemers and Scott Stevens, you've been watching RRTV.